So welcome everyone to the panel discussion. My name is Nicolas from Luxembourg, from the Luxembourg Pride. And I will welcome you to this panel discussion to talk a little bit about the impact of the health crisis on our communities. Donc, je propose qu'on commence peut-être par Matthieu. Est-ce que tu pourrais te présenter un petit peu?
Alors, je suis Matthieu Gatipon-Bachette, je suis président de l'association Couleurs, Gaies, qui est en fait le centre LGBT de Metz, juste à la frontière du Luxembourg.
D'accord. Bart?
I am Bart, and I'm chairman of the Antwerp Pride. It normally takes place the second weekend of August, and it will take place this year as well, but in a different format.
And Uwe?
Bonsoir à tous. Hi, everybody. I'm Uwe Hörner. I'm board member of EPOA, the European Pride Organisers Network, and I'm glad to join this panel today.
So thank you all for taking the time. I think we have to start literally a bit back in time. Suddenly, like in March, everything became a lot more serious, at least here in Luxembourg. So I want to know a little bit from you when you had like the first big measurements taking place and how that has shaped your local community. Maybe we can start with Uwe.
Okay, in Germany, it became serious in the middle of March when the first restrictions came out, and shortly after that, the borders have been closed to our dearest neighbors, to Luxembourg, of course. And then, of course, there was a big uncertainty about what will happen, because nobody, as we still do, but at that time, everybody was just uncertain, and everybody was fearing what will be the next steps, how dangerous this pandemic will hit everybody personally or the community, and that was really not clear. So everybody was kind of shocked, so that nothing could happen about socializing in our communities over months. And yeah, I think that it's very common to everywhere around the globe that everybody was forced to communicate like we do yet on these little helpers like Zoom and GoToMeeting and Jitsi, and to bring together. And so that was one point, to use these techniques for going on to find decisions like what we never did before, because we like to come together. And these were the first steps. But we didn't know what will be the impact to the Pride movement in this year, actually, because I'm from Germany. Our Pride season starts in late April and ends up in late September. And so the first ones, they are just cancelled very, very fast, and the next ones we are waiting the next steps from our government. So let's hear from the others.
So Matthieu, je sais que la Pride à Metz, c'était normalement prévu pour la deuxième semaine de juin. Nous étions très, très heureux pour y aller, mais malheureusement, c'était aussi annulé. Est-ce que tu peux dire un petit peu comment c'est passé chez vous?
Nous, on a subi un petit peu cette période de Covid et de confinement en essayant de s'adapter. C'était pas forcément évident au départ, parce que on avait prévu tout d'abord un beau programme pour notre Pride, mais on a préféré faire le choix d'annuler l'événement. Pourquoi? Parce que à Metz, la Pride, elle est organisée par le centre LGBT. Et en fait, dépend du centre LGBT beaucoup d'activités, et organiser l'événement avec le risque de devoir l'annuler à la dernière minute, ça nous faisait encourir des risques financiers pour nos partenaires et pour nous qu'on n'a pas voulu prendre, tout simplement. Et puis surtout, ça nous aurait donné un événement aussi à minima, un événement qui n'aurait pas été celui que les gens connaissent. Donc, on a préféré annuler et miser sur l'année prochaine. et un événement qui sera à l'identique que ce que les gens connaissent. Ça ne nous a pas empêché de faire jouer la solidarité de l'association avec ses membres. On a reporté nos efforts sur d'autres projets. On a décidé de faire des travaux dans le centre LGBT, par exemple, des travaux d'accessibilité aux personnes handicapées. On a choisi de lancer des campagnes d'appel. On a appelé à peu près 1 millier d'adhérents de l'association, de sympathisants de l'association par téléphone pour savoir s'ils allaient bien, s'ils étaient en bonne santé ou s'ils avaient besoin de quelque chose. Puis on a
des appels
à des situations assez compliquées, hein, de gens qui étaient, notamment de personnes transgenres, qui étaient avec une famille hostile, confinée. Il a fallu reloger les personnes. Donc on s'est adapté. Mais je reste positif parce que quand je vois les événements qui sont proposés, la façon dont la communauté s'est adaptée, je regardais pour EPOA notamment Global Pride ou d'autres événements qui ont été faits online. Et ben on a quand même une communauté qui sait se réinventer et ça c'est plutôt encourageant.
Je reviens encore sur le Global Pride encore après. But the Antwerp Pride is planned for in 6 weeks, less or more, if I'm correct. So you had a little bit of a more difficult time because you were even planned later in the Pride season than other Prides. I have seen that you have already planned a special idea for the March this year. So we would like to hear a bit from you.
Yeah, well, thank you for organizing this call, first of all, Nicolas, and to share the ideas of each other. Well, I would not say we were unlucky. I think we were more lucky than others we have some more time to reflect and to think about alternatives. Like everybody in Europe, I think it went very fast. Actually, as an anecdote, I just arrived in Tigny for the Gaies Ski Week when they decided to close everything. And so I was in Tigny and I had to go back the same day, the day afterwards. And so every day it got more and more severe and strict. We waited like many others till the government was giving specifications. And that's for insurance reasons, that's for contractual reasons, and so on and so on. Luckily, we did not engage with too many partners. And for us financially, has no big consequences at all. On the contrary, we were able to gain some more funding by some companies or partners or organizations who say we support your idea of putting the effort in an alternative program. And so we are now, as you say, 6 weeks ahead. 6 weeks in front of our Pride weekend, which is the 8th and the 9th of August. Next week, Wednesday, we will have a press conference with the mayor of the city and the city council to announce our alternative program. And I can say we are very proud of it. It took collective effort. In the beginning, we thought it will be a lazy summer, and so no Pride to organize, but nothing has been so wrong to say because we had to shift everything and to rethink everything. And like our friend from Metz said, our community is very, very creative, and we just don't like to sit down and let things pass by. So we decided very quickly to redirect the Pride, and so we will have a mixture of digital Pride experience. So we will actually create like a TV channel, a kind of a Netflix, a little bit to be compared with the Global Pride, where we will have a live stream with also recordings, video contents, city report, and so on, some documentaries, but we will have some action in town as well. We have an agreement with the city that the city will be totally in rainbow, even more than other years. So Pride will be looking like a city in Pride. We will have not a Pride march. We cannot do that because if we ask people to go for the Pride, there will be far too many people. But we will have a Pride walk. The route of the parade, we will have 13 portraits of people with an interesting story related to the city, related to Pride, related to LGBTQ. 13 because it's the 13th edition of the Antwerp Pride, and we will have 2 times a series of the 6 rainbow colors, and 1 black and white portrait of a very loyal volunteer who died from COVID at the beginning of April, unfortunately. So we have selected those 12 other peoples, and we will link them to the colors of the rainbow. As you might know, the Pride theme this year was together. Together we fight, together we unite, together we share, together we care, together we celebrate, and together we pride. And we linked the energy of every verb to a color of the rainbow. And so we will have the stories linked to a verb to one color of the rainbow. So that will be one of the things. There will be a QR code where people will be able to scan, and that will bring them to the video recording of the story, to the audio recording, and to the text.
Très content que quand même, il y a déjà la 3e édition de Pride Anvers, parce qu'à la fin, normalement, cette année, c'était la première année que vous étiez aussi présents chez nous.
Oui.
Normalement, à cause des conditions, oui, on n'aura pas le faire, mais j'espère pour l'année prochaine, quand même, on peut regarder un peu ensemble qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire. So now, I want to have a little bit of a more general view. Uwe, you are part of the EPOA board, so the European Pride Organisers Association. So it might be nice to hear maybe from you how you see things from the EPOA level. Like, have you heard things from prides in need, prides in problems, or how does everything go on a European level? Have you heard a lot? Is everything just radio silent? Tell me.
No, there's really no radio silence going on. Of course, EPOA tries its best to support the members around the continent, but this is also the problem because EPOA get its membership nearly in every European nation. So, and every nation got their own regulations and restrictions, and these restrictions are not constant. It depends on the local movement of the pandemic, and everything is in a movement. So this is a big a challenge, and of course, EPOA this year got on as a topic of their aim to support the Polish Pride movement, and that starts in January by organizing the first Polish Pride conference by EPOA, and it is also financed by EPOA and some strong EPOA members. Use the possibility to thank them for their really big support, financially support, to bring the Polish Pride movement together the first time, and now of course they got that big problem because they can't go on the streets to show up, and it would be that important if we face that danger about the so-called LGBT-free zones in Poland, and we've got the election going on about their state of head of state, of course, and this is a big challenge, and we are still in contact with the Polish Pride leaders to get them support, and they can get also financial support in what is possible for us. So, and also we reached out to Hungary because they got that awful anti-transgender law going on, and we see that big challenges we have in Eastern Europe, and we got the impression that these homophobic governments took the possibility because everybody is under shock of the pandemic. We can get on with our pressures to the LGBT community.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear, especially from Poland. We'll have normally next week or Sunday, depends on the date when she will be available. But we know Alicia from Poland who also did an interview. We will have her hopefully also in a small discussion so she can shed a bit of light on the situation. And that's also the reason why at least we thought it was so important to keep the Pride. Parce qu'à la fin, c'est pas la Pride, on ne fait pas juste pour nous, mais c'est aussi pour les autres qui n'ont pas la chance pour exprimer ce qu'ils leur sont. Donc c'est ça qu'on voulait quand même que les gens ici au plus loin sont conscients que on doit rester ensemble, on doit supporter les gens, et comme ça qu'on peut sortir de cette crise d'une manière plutôt positive.
Nicolas, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Because your Pride is not next weekend, the weekend after next.
Yes.
Normally. So what are you planning to do finally?
So for us, it was very difficult in the beginning because we were not sure what would happen. Our first step actually came with a party that we had organized at the end of March that we had to cancel very quickly. And then we already were thinking like, okay, we probably need to come up with a plan B for the Pride. Because things have evolved now so rapidly. I have a background in science, so I know how viral epidemics go. So it was for us very clear that, okay, we need to think about the plan B. Then we awaited the government, like I think most of you, to have a bit more clear information what will be allowed, what won't be allowed. And then halfway April, we finally got like the verdict that we cannot host a big event till the end of July. So then it was for us, okay, we can't do a Pride. However, we have been working very hard to make our Pride more visible and to have. I worked already very hard on an attractive program, so it would be a shame to throw everything away and have a whole summer without events. I think that is especially for Germany now, a big problem that the calendar is a bit empty. So that way, we hope by doing an online Pride that we could at least keep the spirit of the Pride alive. Mm-hmm. And that also people from further away could also join our Pride and see what the Pride in Luxembourg is like. So that way, we hope now to have more people that also are interested in our Pride, because, yeah, as I said, we have done a lot of work the last years. So the Saturday will be full of speeches of also our equality march online. So it's normally we have an equality march, so not a Pride march. We do an equality march where everyone can participate. As we are still small scale, that is still something we can do. We have to see how that works in the future years, because Metz is also more small scale. But I know Antwerp, and especially in Germany, well, by the greatest example, Cologne, those Pride marches are huge, let's say, compared to us.
Yeah. So just to step in, because of the experience we had already by ideas for Pride. So last weekend in Vienna, a Pride took place by a car corso around the Ringstraße, where normally they demonstrate. So it's just it was a parade only by cars, and of course a lot of cabriolets are used for that. In Oldenburg, in north of Germany, they made a bike parade, so everybody was on the bike, and that was allowed because you can keep also the distance with that. And in Dresden, they made a so-called a track parade under the title Pride Comes to You, to our community. So there was one track, and they made a tournament around the city and stops at every local community hotspot, a bar, a club, or somewhere else. And that was like a big success. Mm-hmm. The colleagues in Rostock and the Baltic Sea, they make their Pride as a kind of a village Pride. So in different city quarters, they've got hotspots, and they invite people there. So you've got 5 or 6 spots for the Pride in that city at different times. So so it's spread over the town in small places with a calculatable number of people. Mm-hmm. So this is things that are possible, but everything, as I said, is in movement. So, yeah.
J'entends déjà beaucoup que, à Anvers et aussi en Allemagne, qu'il y a beaucoup des événements qui essaient quand même d'amener un peu des gens. Je sais pas, en Metz, la Pride s'est déjà passée, le moment de la Pride. Mais qu'est-ce que vous avez encore sur l'agenda peut-être pour le futur, pour amener un peu des gens et créer un peu une atmosphère pour notre communauté LGBTIQ?
Alors, nous, on n'a pas prévu d'événements physiques pour toutes les raisons que vous savez par rapport au Covid. Ça ne nous empêche pas d'organiser des événements plus conviviaux. Et je pense qu'on va organiser, c'est dans les tuyaux, un pique-nique Pride juste avant la rentrée, histoire de remobiliser tout le monde pour pouvoir justement répondre par la visibilité à la fin de ces événements liés au coronavirus. Parce que il faut vraiment qu'on mesure qu'il est important d'être présent. Parce que l'homophobie, la lesbophobie, la transphobie, elles se sont pas confinées pendant qu'on était tous chez nous, hein. Bien au contraire, que ce soit sur les réseaux sociaux comme dans la vie, il y a eu beaucoup d'actes qui ont été relayés. Nous, à Metz, par exemple, on a eu une campagne d'autocollants homophobes dans la ville pendant le confinement pour tout un tas de raisons. Et justement, si on organise ce pique-nique, on l'organisera au plan d'eau à Metz, parce que c'est un endroit où il y a eu cette campagne d'autocollants pour dire que nous aussi, on a notre place dans l'espace public et que c'est pas parce qu'il y a eu un laps de temps où il n'y avait pas de visibilité, il n'y avait pas de Pride, qu'on n'était pas là et qu'il n'y a pas d'autre moyen d'occuper l'espace public et de faire entendre nos revendications. Parce que pour nous, la dimension politique de la Pride, elle est première. On a souvent eu des mots d'ordre un petit peu grinçants et qui ont fait réagir. Et sans oublier bien sûr la dimension festive, on veut toujours mettre du sens à nos actions, un sens politique, parce que c'est le sens premier de la Pride et puis d'une organisation comme la nôtre. Voilà.
Si vous avez encore besoin d'aide, nous sommes toujours là.
Vous serez invités. Je pense qu'on invitera toutes les associations du coin pour venir participer, passer un bon moment avec nous. Et on compte sur vous, comme j'imagine que vous comptez sur nous pour l'année prochaine et pour le défilé à Esch et à Metz. Voilà.
D'accord. But you said that you are now in your full preparations. We know, however, that in a few countries there is like a second wave happening with new cases. It might endanger prides with, again, new confinements. Have you already taken that into consideration, or what do you think will happen? Have you already, let's call it a plan C even?
Yes, obviously. Unfortunately, we are already now conditioned in taking into account a possible disaster again, and it can go very fast. If you look what's happening now, what has been happening in Lisboa, what's happening in the United States, so people start traveling again, so it might pop up very quickly again, and the virus, unfortunately. So the program we have put together, it's, let's say, kind of mass proof. So everything we do can be done on an individual basis, can be done in a small bubble of 5 or 10 or 50 people, depending on. We are collaborating with other festivals in town, like Jazz Middelheim and other organizations. So we can tailor things based upon the regulations given by the government. So at this moment, we're still in a wave of getting better and better. Which means we are more and more allowed for bringing people together, very well regulated, of course, the seating and stuff like that. We have a lot of culture things happening, lectures also. We have a Human Rights Friday, which we can scale from 10 people to 100 people. The museums are collaborating with expositions. So all of that can be easily tailored into the level we are allowed to do. Financially also, I think we were well prepared as we were early enough to do so. So we will survive with no damage, whatever we have to change again. So we have financial budgets secured. We know what we will be spending. The TV channel, Netflix channel, we are going to create. So that's Corona-proof. That's Corona-proof. Yeah. So what I'll suggest is, once we've done the press conference next Wednesday, I'll send you all the information about the Pride edition. and you will be more than happy to actually load up even your content on our channel to share your Pride experiences or what's happening in your cities or in your areas. So you can just load it up or just connect to the Love United channel we're going to establish.
Definitely also something for EPO and also for Metz. Actually, I have also a more personal question because I am originally from Antwerp, but now I am not living anymore in the country. Will there be still a place for like foreigners who still want to experience the Pride in Antwerp? Will there be a way for us to also have the typical Antwerp Pride experience?
What do you mean in kind of being a hotel or being
anything alike? Yes.
Yes,
so
of course. I mean, let us know. I mean, if you need like hosting or whatever, yes, we can do something. Just let us know. Just read our program, and if you feel tempted for coming, we definitely will have an hospitality program again.
Specifically meant for like tourists, for foreigners who are normally coming to the Pride. I mean, there's a lot of Pride tourism. So for those people, I think now there are a few people really longing for having some kind of event. So
it's delicate. It's delicate. It's a delicate thing. We are going to broadcast this information, especially to the neighboring countries. But we cannot be too enthusiastic because otherwise we will have a problem having too many people filling up the city again, and you will have then, and this will be not good for the image and the reputation of Pride. But a lot of people will be finger pointing us and saying, "Well, it's not social responsible what you're doing." So it's a tricky balance we have to respect in showing that we are not forgetting that Pride is much more than just a party, that we are having a mission, social responsibilities. We are changing the living together as much as we can, but we're doing it this year in a social responsible way and not making people feel guilty that participate, or not making people feel appalled because I see too many people hugging and kissing, and you know how it goes when gay people or LGBT people get together. Social distancing is not our specialty, I think, especially not if there's some party or alcohol involved. So we have to take that into account. So yes, we are putting and offering an attractive program, but we will definitely continue by repeating the message. Do it responsibly, not in big groups, and there will be no dancing, for instance. But if you want to come and to experience fine culture, fine lectures, great walks, discover the city, because we are going to lay out a lot of routes into the city to discover really nice places with the LGBT history. So yes, feel free to come, and we will be more than happy, and I'm sure the hotels will be very happy to welcome as well. So everything is open, but we will not do like a marketing campaign trying to attract, like we do every year, thousands of people from abroad, because I think people might have an evil look at us.
Yeah, oui, c'est effectivement ça. Il faut quand même faire un peu attention qu'on est déjà une communauté qui est très visée pour certaines choses, que aussi nous fait notre partie à essayer de ne pas distribuer le virus partout. Donc c'est ça effectivement. Ce que je voulais aussi parler, tout le monde a déjà touché un peu le sujet de la Global Pride. C'était le week-end passé. Uwe, maybe you can shed a bit of light on it, because we have been looking at it from a distance, but can you maybe say, was it successful? Were there a lot of people? Personally, I really enjoyed it, that so many people got together for one big project. So yeah, is there maybe in the future also another possibility to do something similar maybe?
We received that question indeed, and everybody on the organization team, and there was about 50 people working on that. They said, no, not again, please. So that was really an experience. Let's name it that way, because the idea came up in late April, and it's all done within not about 2 months. So, and originally the idea came from my colleague Steve Taylor from IPOA board, and we just couldn't reach out to Interpride if they would support that as well, and we've done it together with some national platforms as well. And but that was really a big thing to organize. So we got a production team, a finance team, a reaching out team, got a content team for that, and twice a week a Zoom conference with the whole board about that, and co-presidents who sign contracts and all this stuff. And what is a success? This is, yeah, everybody have to decide it by your own. But to tell you numbers, Global Pride got about 50 million social contacts on the different levels that was broadcast. It was on YouTube, was on Facebook, and on different every thing. So 50 million people just clicked that or watched for 2 minutes or for hours, so we don't know. And there was also the possibility to give donations to a common pocket. And from private, we received about more than $50,000, and I don't know the exact amount, but about $150,000 from companies who are supporting Global Pride. So and this money will be separated to Prides in Need. They can apply for that. We will send out a form. And this is because that was the reason to produce that, to give Prides that has to cancel their events or being under financial distract, give the possibility to give them a platform. So, and the really big thing is that we got, that was, I think, the first global Pride event to bring such different people, different kind of aims together in such a small time. That was really, really great, and some entries are very catching the hearts, and I think a lot of tears are flowing there. And we got also a big feedback from the youth community, because as you and I and everybody who's organizing Prides know, that every Pride is in a year is the first Pride of somebody. So, and this year that is very hard to offer. So, and we've got a lot of feedback from the youth, and say, okay, oh my God, this is how Pride could be. And the people from Mongolia and from Africa and from the Caribbean, or even from Eastern Europe, will say, oh my gosh, in my neighborhood there's a Pride. They send a video, or there's just a speech from a foreign minister in the neighborhood. And that was really great. I think that we never got such a big impact to a community beside the LGBT community as well, because that was such a big broadcasting receiving thing that we made.
Oui, c'est aussi intéressant de parler aussi, ils ont c'est d'un sens, donc il y a aussi un bar. Matthieu, est-ce que tu peux me dire un petit peu comment maintenant les choses évoluent? Est-ce que vous avez le droit de réouvrir? Certainement maintenant avec l'été.
Alors, je n'ai pas très bien entendu ta question, mais c'était si on avait le droit de réouvrir pendant...
Oui, vous avez quand même un centre que les gens peuvent y aller.
Alors, actuellement, on a réouvert, mais on n'a pas repris le cycle normal de nos activités, tout bonnement parce qu'on est limité à un nombre de personnes à l'intérieur du centre. Dans les endroits confinés, on peut réunir un nombre limité de personnes, et que quand nous, on organise une permanence, il peut y avoir une quarantaine de personnes dans un espace qui est relativement restreint. Donc, du coup, on ne peut pas le faire, et on attend la rentrée pour pouvoir recommencer ce type de permanence. En attendant, on a des services qui continuent à tourner, notamment par rapport à tout ce qui concerne l'accueil et l'écoute et l'orientation juridique, avec des bénévoles qui travaillent soit par rendez-vous, en respectant les règles de distanciation sociale et avec des nombres limités de bénévoles, et aussi surtout beaucoup sur Internet, hein, via mail ou chat. Et sinon, on a réouvert nos permanences de bibliothèque LGBT qu'on a tous les vendredis soirs de 18h à 20h, et pour continuer à traiter les sujets militants, parce qu'il ne manque pas actuellement, et même pendant l'été, on organise des apéros militants. Et on a fait une dernière permanence avant l'été à Thionville, là où on a une antenne dans une maison des associations, pour que les gens qui ne nous avaient pas vus depuis longtemps et qui n'ont pas potentiellement la possibilité de venir à Metz régulièrement ou ponctuellement pour venir à ce type de permanence, puissent quand même avoir un lien avec l'association. Il y a un double effet du Covid. Il y a il y a un effet qui est super, c'est que avec des événements online et des outils numériques, on a un petit peu décuplé nos possibilités, hein. On peut parler à des gens, comme on disait là tout à l'heure, dans le monde entier, hein, des gens où même c'est des endroits difficiles à aborder les sujets liés à l'orientation sexuelle ou à l'identité de genre. Et paradoxalement, on a aussi des gens qui ont vraiment besoin de sociabilité, de contact. Il y a des gens qui sont très seuls, et il y a des gens qui ont vraiment besoin d'avoir des moments où ils se retrouvent avec leur père, quoi, avec des gens qui vivent la même chose qu'eux. Et c'est le rôle des associations LGBT. Donc nous, à Metz, on met un point d'honneur à continuer à avoir un accueil physique avec des bénévoles et des gens qui puissent répondre aux questions. Ça, c'est très, très important, hein. Tout ne peut pas passer par la digitalisation ou le numérique.
Tu as aussi parlé de la vidéothèque, c'est quelque chose pas mal. Et c'est vrai qu'il y a des gens, effectivement, qui sont isolés un petit peu dans cette période. C'est pas tellement facile aussi de sortir. Je pense que tellement de gens ne savent plus comment réagir, quoi faire. Donc là, je suis même content qu'il y a des organisations comme vous.
Il y a beaucoup de craintes, beaucoup de gens qui ont peur de venir et à ça s'ajoute la crainte de venir dans une association LGBT. Donc ça fait une double barrière. C'est pour ça qu'on a téléphoné aux gens, qu'on a essayé de maintenir le lien. Au niveau de la bibliothèque, par exemple, on a beaucoup de gens qui nous font des dons de livres ou de DVD. Donc, beaucoup de doublons aussi. Donc, pour les gens qui n'osent pas venir, on les a déposés dans des boîtes à livres qui sont dans la ville, pour que les gens puissent quand même, pendant le confinement, accéder à un peu de culture LGBTQI gratuitement. Et là, ce qui se profile, c'est qu'on va vraiment axer sur peut-être des mesures plus sociales, parce que on sait qu'avec ce qui se passe au niveau du Covid et au niveau des difficultés économiques qui se profilent, il y a beaucoup de personnes précarisées, je pense notamment à des personnes racisées ou trans qui peuvent avoir de gros problèmes économiques. Et ça, les associations LGBT, elles doivent se saisir de ces sujets-là. Pour nous, c'est important.
Well, I'm very happy also to hear that there are so many people that are writing you and want to be involved. I know that the Antwerp Pride also has a lot of volunteers every year. So how is that happening now? Do you still have a lot of support from your volunteers? Bart, are you still there?
I was on mute, sorry.
No problem.
Yes, because they are a little bit unhappy now, of course, because they're just hungry for some activity. But it's a good question, because it's a core of our organization. So we just have one half-time guy now on the payroll, and for the rest, we are all a big bunch of volunteers, which makes it very nice, in a way of speaking, that we are very engaged and committed. So to keep those people on board, to keep them warm and feeling important, which is very important for a lot of volunteers, is we're going to organize the 15th of July a gathering. So we're inviting all the volunteers to give them the update, first of all, of the alternative program.
A live update? Or
sorry?
Are you going to do it via internet, or you're inviting
No, we live. So we have a partnership with the province Council of Antwerp. We have a lovely new building, and so we will be able to use the auditorium where normally the council people meet. It's a big one. It's a bit like a parliament, so we can use that to bring all our volunteers together in a social distancing way. We will be able to make a presentation, to do some some talking to them, and then afterwards offer them some little refreshments in a big hall, so at least to get them all together, that they can see each other, because they're really, like Matthieu was saying, a lot of people are in need of social contact, especially volunteers, because for them a Pride engagement is a social engagement. It's an insurance for them to meet people. A lot of those people are vulnerable. We have a lot of asylum people, so people, refugees who are looking for contacting us to be able to meet people. So we have some Pakistani people, we have some people from Eastern Europe, so they feel a bit left alone, of course, especially people who are into procedure at this moment. They cannot leave the asylum, so which is a very nice thing for them now, at least to get them out there and bring them together. But that's what's going to happen, and then we will have a small group of volunteers who will be doing some job during the Pride. Of course, it will be not normally we have like a basis of 165 volunteers who are very loyal to us, which is a big group of people.
Yeah, it's some people often forget that the Pride is not just the people that organize it, but it is a mass event that is only successful when you have so many supporters. And I think especially the Global Pride was a very big example of that what global support can do to an event. And yeah, as Uwe also said, some things really brought tears to your eye. It's beautiful to see that even though we are living in different countries with different governments and different rules, that in the end we all find each other in a common goal. So we're almost getting to the end. I think it would be nice. J'espère que c'est intéressant aussi de savoir un petit peu de chacun de vous. Si vous avez peut-être des petits tips and tricks à donner, ou quand même vous voyez le futur, comment des choses peuvent évoluer juste de maintenant in the next months. Like what are your tips and tricks, and how you have dealt with this situation that you can recommend to others, and what will the future bring, you think? Uwe, can you maybe
what the future brings? Yeah, I would like to know that, what the future brings us too. Of course we are hoping for the best, and so also my home Pride, we cancelled the Pride. We get also the same date as Antwerp Pride, by the way, and but now we're trying to say, okay, what is possible from the actual standing, and so now we are planning also not a demonstration, but a Pride walk and a small speech about that, and see if we can flag the city in rainbows or something like that. And these are the next steps, and also give our experience further to other Prides about their online Pride that they are planning, because we've got different experiences in Germany, because sometimes it runs very well, and the other time that was not that good, and that's let's share these experiences. But I think all of us, we are really longing to go out, to be visible, to show what is our work, our aim, and I got the feeling that this pandemic brings us back together, because in Germany we got more than 90 prides, and everybody takes it. This is common. This is just normal, but it isn't normal. So in this year, everybody who is into that. Just bring that back to the grassroots and say, okay, this is where we came from. Let's go on the street and have just a paper in the hand and say, okay, this is my will. This is what I wanted to say, and this is what I want to show the community. And maybe we got a little this backlash, and this is one of the small things that is positive about that, and everybody might take that with him or in his heart, in his LGBT heart.
Yeah, in Pride we unite. I think that also resembles the slogan of the Antwerp Pride, even though it is a little bit of a different Pride this year. What did I wanted to say? Yeah, can you maybe shed a light on what are you proud of that you have done in this time? What do you think was really a success for you, and how do you see the future?
I think, and like Uwe said, it's a great opportunity at the end. It's a crisis. Oh my God, what are we going to do? And then it's pushing you into new directions to discover the soul about what's the Pride about. That's very soon we decided. No way, we are not going to cancel Pride. It's like canceling Christmas. We do not want to do that. It is Pride weekend, and we will make a Pride weekend. And it will take the opportunity, maybe it will give people more space to focus on the essential part about the messaging, to reflect, to meet in a smaller group, and to get less drunk, and to be more, let's say, awake to know what.
I'm not sure about that last point, really.
No.
This is water.
Yes, cheers. But I think we are very proud, honestly, yes, because we could have been very lazy and saying, well, tough, but no Pride this year, bye-bye, see you next year. But you are pushed, we are not pushed by anybody, we are pushed by ourselves to make something happen. And then before you know, it's getting fucking lots of work, we're doing it. And we will be innovating ourselves, and there will be definitely a basis for some new experiences, which we will take to the next years as well. It will be the more digital parts, which will be definitely interesting to reuse and to enhance towards the next edition. But also what you said, Uwe, and what you said, Nicolas, is that it will bring us together. We have now a small, not Benelux, but kind of a small Central European discussion. It might be next year an opportunity to do it more and to talk to each other a little bit more, to share experiences, and to not forget that what is uniting us. I always use the phrase when I do a speech at the opening of the Pride is, we have been so successful as LGBT community because we were able to unite behind the goals we agree about. We have a lot of things we disagree, but we have a lot of things we agree, and we were focusing on the things we agree, and that's why we got a very powerful lobby, I think. And that's why we can inspire a lot of people, minorities, who are trying to organize themselves to get rights they deserve, and maybe support them and inspire them in that way.
Yeah, I think especially for like you said, for something on a bigger scale, for a panel discussion, that's maybe for the EPOA, Uwe, that you can already write down for the next board meeting.
Thank you very much.
Matthieu, c'est encore à toi. Je voulais savoir qu'est-ce que vous êtes vraiment fier, qu'est-ce que vous avez fait que vous êtes vraiment fier.
Alors, on est fiers de pouvoir continuer à organiser un événement qui rassemble à Metz à peu près 6000 personnes par an, qui a un véritable poids politique dans notre ville et qui nous permet d'obtenir pour la communauté des moyens et du soutien, c'est important. Et on est particulièrement fiers aussi de voir comment évolue notre mouvement, parce que je ne sais pas si on peut, enfin tout le monde le mesure, mais ne serait-ce que ce qu'on est en train de faire là, c'était pas possible il y a quelques années, réunir des gens de Luxembourg, d'Anvers, du bord des Poas, pour les faire parler tous ensemble dans une réunion, c'était bien ouvert qu'à quelques militants restreints avec peu de moyens et une logistique importante. Là, aujourd'hui, avec Internet, on peut tous se parler, on peut se coordonner, on peut arriver à faire avancer les choses. Donc, je suis plutôt optimiste parce que je pense que sur l'avenir, ce qui s'est passé, ça révélera des engagements et potentiellement de nouvelles bonnes volontés pour le mouvement LGBT. En tout cas, je l'espère et je le souhaite. Mais je reste quand même vigilant parce que quand il y a des situations de crise, on cherche souvent des minorités pour être les boucs émissaires, et on le voit dans des pays, notamment à l'est de l'Europe, où il y a des mouvements d'extrême droite, des politiciens, des populistes qui utilisent les communautés LGBT pour se dédouaner des responsabilités qu'ils n'ont pas prises sur le plan politique, notamment auprès des gens les plus pauvres ou des gens qui en ont besoin. Et ça doit être vraiment quelque chose sur lequel on doit avoir une vigilance, et je crois que de toute façon avec Interpride, avec EPOA ou encore avec IGA, il y a des gens qui regardent ça de très près, et c'est bien qu'on soit coordonnés sur ce point.
Mais ensemble, on reste fort, bien sûr.
Exactement.
So I only have something very important left to say. Something we are very proud about for the Luxembourg Pride is our slogan for this year, "You are not alone, tu n'es pas seul." Because in the end, we are one big family, one big community. No one deserves to be left alone. Personne ne doit rester tout seul. C'est important qu'on se trouve, même si c'est virtuel, mais quand même that the world keeps turning. You know, this pandemic will not mean the end of it. Donc, ce qui me reste, c'est juste à vous remercier pour votre temps, de venir ici online avec moi et de discuter quand même un petit peu sur des sujets très importants. And we'll see how things turn out in the future. Anyway, I know that I can count on any one of you. And of course, you can always count on us in the Luxembourg Pride whenever you need us.
Thanks a lot, Nicolas. Merci beaucoup. Vielen Dank. Und allen willkommen in Antwerp. You're all very welcome. Bienvenue à Anvers.
Merci beaucoup, et puis à très bientôt à Metz et à Luxembourg.
Merci à tous pour moi aussi. Thanks a lot, and of course, everybody also is welcome at Mannheim Pride in Germany. You're very, very welcome, and it's good to have these faces in our LGBT and Pride community. So stay strong, stay safe, and stay loud.
So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and hopefully we'll see you all again soon in hopefully in real life.
Okay, then take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and also thank you, the audience, for listening. I know we have gone on for a while. Now we will continue also with a small open question round. So for anyone who feels like they have something to say, please let us know.
You